Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back to the prop room for another thrilling instalment in our behind-the-scenes look into the art department and how it works and who's working in it.
Yeah. And our guest today is someone that works in a department that we've not had on before.
That's
have
true.
we? We have Alice with us today.
Alice Carey, pre-marriage, no, post-marriage.
Post-marriage.
Alice Bogart, pre-marriage.
Bogard.
Bogard. Known to some as Boggs, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Boggs. And what do you do, Alice?
Now, I'm a prop painter,
A prop painter.
mostly for the set deck team.
Department.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
Mm.
In terms of going all the way back to when you were a whippersnapper and starting out on this big journey, what did you study at university? What was school like? Did you have an inkling early on?
No, not at all. My journey was not as conventional as a lot of others, but I didn't get on with school very well, and the only thing I really liked doing at school was pottery.
Okay.
And they only did that one term, 1 year. So most of school was difficult. And so when I was 16 in the 80s, you could leave school, which I did. And I was not sure what I was going to do. I wasn't particularly interested in anything at that time.
Yeah.
And then all my family, I was very, very creative family. My mother was very creative. My father was in the industry, and I did a few jobs working in bars and restaurants and stuff like that. And then I got a job as a runner. Actually, no, first of all, I got a job at MTV as a switchboard person. I answered the telephone and delivered faxes and things like that when I was about 17. And then...
Where was that? In central London?
That was in Camden.
Oh, wow. MTV in Camden.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool badge to have on there.
For a first, yeah.
But that was like that. I don't know how I even got in that job. I don't know how. I can't even remember. I was thinking about this last night when thinking about this.
Yeah.
I thought, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I worked there. And then after that, I went away for a few months to France to kind of grow up a bit. And when I came back, I got a job as a runner in a production company in London.
Yeah.
That made commercials.
Wow.
And I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite hard work, kind of runners in the early 90s, we're talking 92, where it was all like, how badly can we treat her? How
tough
can we make this?
Yeah.
Because I always felt like with the industry was like, it was hard work. You had to be tough to kind of manage it, survive it.
How did you come by that job? How did you get that runner's job? How did you get that first job?
That first job, my dad had a friend of his had a production company, commercials, and he said they need a runner. Do you want to do it? So I did that for about a year because I was really young.
Yeah.
So I was there running around. But the bit I liked the most was being on set.
Yeah.
So I was in the office, and then maybe once or twice a month they'd do a shoot.
Yeah.
And on the shoot day, I just came into my element. Absolutely loved being around the camera.
Yeah.
Loved the dressing up of the whole set.
Yeah.
Enjoyed just the look of things. Loved looking through the camera.
Yeah.
Seeing how it looked through the camera versus through real life.
Were they kind of like commercials for TV?
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Lots
sorts
of like
stuff,
Heinz baked beans and Carlsberg, I remember, and a whiskey advert and lots of adverts I did. And I kind of, what was nice about being a runner, which I always say to people coming into the industry, is there's no real, you've got your own little pressures, but really there's no pressure. You're there to learn, and you get paid, and you can sit back and look at all the jobs, look at all the departments and say, oh, I might like that, or I might like that. And you've got a lovely opportunity to look around and decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did for a year and a half.
What came after that year and a half then? What
I decided that I needed to move on.
Yeah.
And so I got a job as a prop person assistant, art department assistant on music video.
Yeah.
And then I spent 5 years doing that.
Music videos
In the 90s.
Sounds more intense than the commercial stuff. How was that?
A lot more intense. Long hours. The hours were long.
Yeah, I've done a few promos when I was starting out, and they are character building, I think is the phrase. When you've been at work for like 18 hours and there's still another 3 or 4 hours to go.
Yeah.
It's really quite incredible how you make it through some of those stuff.
Yeah, I remember exactly that, standing all day. And then it's like you've been there for 9 hours, and then you look at your watch and think, oh, another 9 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like you do a 2 days work in one day.
Yeah.
It's incredibly creative and interesting. You're running around on your feet all day.
Yeah.
I like it when I'm busy. So
who were you making music videos in the early 90s for?
Well, I was thinking about this last night.
Yeah.
Had a little look through my book.
Yeah.
I did loads. I mean, they're going to sound so old
I think
to
just
the students.
Yeah,
We're watching who. But I was looking through, there was Prodigy,
Wow.
Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
There was Elton John.
Yeah.
U2.
Yeah.
There was Blur.
Yeah.
Take That.
Yeah.
Oasis. Pulp. Did a lot of Pulp videos.
Yeah.
About 4 of theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, loads.
That's like 8 of the biggest bands
in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was really fun.
Yeah, I bet it was.
It was full on.
What were you doing on those videos exactly then? Give me an example of,
Well, early on I was art department dog's body.
Right.
Just do anything from, like, I remember was it Billy Idol? I did Billy Idol.
Billy Idol.
And there was a scene with a sushi chef chopping fish.
Yeah.
So guess who had to gut all the fish?
Yeah. Great.
That would be me.
Yeah.
I did what else? What was the question you said?
Like, what were you doing?
I was, stuff like that for the art
the dog's
department.
body stuff.
Dog's body stuff.
As assistant.
Sorry, I lost my track. Then I sort of started to paint. I liked painting.
Was that your first foray into painting then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Because you do everything. So that, can you just paint this thing, make
Sure.
it look better? Okay, fine. And so I started painting, and I quite liked the painting. And I worked with an amazing guy who did backdrops.
Yeah.
And I just, mixed up the paint for him, and I'd wash out his buckets, and I just looked at everything in
before the days of kind of like big cyclorama printing.
Yeah, digital kind of
He
stuff. Yeah.
mountain for that Billy Idol video.
Yeah.
Mountain scape.
Hand painted.
Hand paint the whole cyc.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It looked like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Mountain tops. Amazing. And I just sort of would watch and learn.
Yeah.
And I did wash out a lot of buckets, and you have to do all that stuff.
Sure, yeah, rites of passage stuff.
Yeah, but he also learned so much along the way.
Yeah. If you want to learn from a master, you stand next to the master.
Yeah.
And he will let you stand there. He or she will let you stand there. But you have to pay a price. And if that's washing out the brushes, making the tea, carrying his or her stuff back to their vehicle, whatever it is, the apprentice, it's the apprentice position, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you are drawn to something, want to learn, and the best way to do that is to stand next to somebody who's been doing it for 30 years.
For 30 years, yeah, exactly. It was. I had lots of really talented people. That's what I love about the industry, is everybody is super talented.
Yeah.
So you're around like brilliant people
Constantly.
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
So I feel even now I still learn lots of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did that for a good 5 years, I would say,
Yeah.
on music videos, and painting came. I did more and more painting as that time went on. And during that time, I worked on a film.
Yeah.
And that was the first film I ever worked on.
Yeah. Hired as a painter?
No, that was an accident.
Yeah.
I went on just to be, I don't know,
a helper. Yeah.
And then the painter didn't turn up. And so they were like, can you do it?
Oh, great.
And I was like,
There's,
okay.
there's the door opening.
Yeah. And
put
I
your foot in it.
panicked. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Standby
Standby painter. So
Standby.
that's someone who is with the shoot crew.
Yeah.
Who is doing all manner of paint jobs that are last minute. That could be set, action props, all sorts of business, helping out camera department get away with various bits and pieces that are going wrong or
troubleshooting.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And running around like a blue ass fly, I imagine, because I've watched a couple of standby painters and it's pretty relentless on bigger jobs. And there's probably normally only you, maybe, isn't there?
Yeah, there was only me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just doing that.
Yeah.
On my own.
Yeah.
And it was a tiny, low budget little movie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
No. A good place to cut your teeth.
Good, but yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And I did think, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Make it up as I go along.
Yeah.
And that was fine. I did quite a lot of standby after that.
Yeah.
For years actually.
Yeah.
Ended up. But that's when I started thinking, okay, maybe I'll do painting. Maybe I'll just be painting. So I did scenic. I moved into that role more, but mostly music videos at that time.
Yeah.
And then
And what's the difference between a scenic and a prop painter? So the scenic would probably work on a bigger film.
So scenic painters do all the walls, all the set
builds,
and the brick and the stone and the wood graining and
the
all
aging
of the aging and they're all amazing. They are amazing, and they do that stuff, and then a prop painter does the objects.
The objects and maybe some furniture and stuff like that.
And things like that. Yeah.
Set decorated elements as opposed to construction elements.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
where it crosses over, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And sometimes some of your things will be attached to the wall.
yeah.
You have to be mindful of, the two departments crossing.
Yeah.
So you make sure that what you're putting on your thing is what they've put on their thing.
Yeah. So communication.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really important to kind of respect what they've done and just like slap paint on their beautiful work. But that so I did do scenic for a while.
Yeah.
And then
Because when it's probably jumping ahead a little bit, then we met on Cruella, didn't we?
Overlord.
Was that before?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's all got muddled up.
Yeah.
And Overlord, for those of you who haven't seen it, is an J.J. Abrams inspired World War II homage to B movies, which is set on D-Day when a fleet of American paratroop planes are flying in over above the ships for D-Day in order to drop into France to take Berlin back and kind of pincer the Germans from front and back. What happens at the very start of the movie is the Germans open fire on all of these American planes and they all get shot down and crash. And a battalion of Americans crash land in the French forest and accidentally discover a secret Nazi underground lair where a bunch of scientists are trying to create a group of super soldiers who can fight and win the Second World War. Perfectly plausible.
Yeah.
And all shot in England, in various parts. Leeston Studios was a big part of it, wasn't it? And then we were out in multiple forests where I remember spending many hours up a ladder trying to hang people upside down and parachutes and stuff like that. Immense fun.
I know, and that's when I met you. That was always a story I tell because it's hilarious. I turn up. I don't know what I'm coming into because I never get told. Just turn up tomorrow. Don't know what it's going to be. And I arrive in the forest, met you, and there were just all these bodies hanging in trees. I was like, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they said, you or somebody said, okay, so the boots on the soldiers hanging in the trees have not been aged.
Yeah.
And
They've got new
they
boots
look
on.
brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boots look brand new.
And so if you're like the camera going underneath and you see this pinging sort of very pale
Soles of the
strips
shoes.
of soles of the shoes.
Yeah.
But they're like 60 feet up in the air.
They were
I'm
60
like,
feet in
so,
the air,
okay. And then that's the sort of problem I love. Because it's like, right, well, anyone's guess. I'll just have a go.
Yeah.
So I spoke to the tree surgeon guy.
That's right.
And he had a telescopic pole that went up
60 foot.
I gaffer taped my paintbrush to the pole, and there we are. Forge a bit of paint on there, and the bit of wax.
Yeah.
Gets you all out of all trouble.
You see it in the movie.
It's hilarious.
4 seconds.
Right.
It took us days. Like the art of how to hang a mannequin fully clothed with a parachute on him in a tree.
Nightmare.
That's 80 foot in the air is something I can now confidently say I know how to do it.
And it was 35 degrees.
And it was 35 degrees heat. So I went completely mad in that forest at least 4 times. But it was if you haven't seen that movie, you must watch it. It's really quite incredible.
All the painting, all the scenic painting on that was amazing.
So it was designed by a guy called John Henson, who's the production designer. And there was 2 big sets really. He built and designed an entire French village that he built on the Backlight at Leasden, where all of the exteriors of creeping around the French village happened. So he built a village, and then that was looked after by a charge hand dresser called Neil Hornshaw, who's now a prop master. He looked after that, and I looked after the E stage set, which was the underground lair that was built. And because the director and the DOP wanted to shoot a lot of Steadicam stuff with these monsters chasing the heroes around this underground lab, the whole lab set, which was probably about 10 different rooms, was all interconnected. So it was one massive, great big set about the size of what felt like 4 football pitches. So in the morning you would turn up to work, have a cup of tea, have a piece of toast, get your tools, go to E stage, put your batteries on your drills, get your tools, and then you would go into this underground World War II lair for the entire day, where there'd be a whole bunch of people working, painters, electricians, construction, props, set deck, everybody in there, tilers, tech people. But you'd be in this underground space all day long. You'd come out for a cup of tea and then you'd go back in. So really you were kind of doing something a bit more like method dressing, where you were spending time in the set. It was so big that you were in it all day long. And it was like you were kind of at war a little bit.
And it was really, it was
pretty grim.
Grim.
Yeah.
And horrible and dark, and Nazi zombies being created in this horrible
there was like pools of like body parts. There was
disgusting.
like cocoons where they were breeding these super soldiers. Then there was like a torture chamber. Then there was like a prison wing where they were keeping people. I mean, it was really
grim.
It was nuts.
I know what was funny about that for me was that having spent however long on that, literally the very next day after I finished, I started on Paddington 2. And it was all lovely and happy, and I was just like, oh, thank God.
Teddy bears and marmalade.
Teddy bears and marmalade. And they kept saying it's Paddington World now. It's
Yeah.
much nicer.
No blood.
No blood.
No guts.
And it was prison, but really nice.
A really nice pink.
Lovely prison. Pink was
off-white and pink.
It was great. I was like, oh, thank God.
It's a heck of a film, Paddington 2 as well. I don't know if you've seen that. That's
Yeah.
also absolutely brilliant.
That's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we met up again on Cruella then. We would have done
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we did
something in between.
In between.
because Cruella, you were the head of department,
Yeah,
weren't you,
yeah.
for the prop painters?
For the prop painters.
Yeah. So you at that point would have been in charge
Yeah.
with a team.
That was the first time I did that.
Yeah.
So that was quite kind of a bit like, oh my God.
I mean, I look back on that really fondly because I was way out of my comfort zone and depth at that point.
Yeah,
But
as was I.
so excited at the challenge of like doing something so massive.
Yeah.
The kind of thing you dream about as a sort of youngster, just getting into the film industry going, I just want to do one really big one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get a chance and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so big, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of, you figure out how to do it, but you're kind of learning a whole bunch of new stuff
Yeah.
every single day.
Exactly. And I felt very same out of my comfort zone, but actually surrounded myself with lovely painters.
Yeah.
Who knew me, and I was like, we're in it together.
Yeah.
This is not me and you, it's like us. So we just were a brilliant team, and it worked. It was all fine. I actually had a lovely experience working on that.
Yeah, me
film.
too.
It was it was a lot of work, but it wasn't stressful. It was just really fun, really lovely people. If you're lucky enough to find yourself a great team, then all the hard stuff is.
And looking
was
back on it,
fine.
it is quite a piece of,
Yeah, it was
it's quite a
beautiful.
piece of work.
Great. It was great. I had lovely things to paint
Yeah.
all the time. I had lovely things to do on that film. It was really nice.
Where do you take your inspiration from on when you have to paint these props and whatnot? I mean, who are you getting instruction from?
I get my instructions from usually, well, it'll be the set decorator, and the prop master. Between them all, there'll be like conversations about how things have got to look.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get references. Usually references are key because one person's idea of, if you verbalize, like, we want this table to look really old and knackered.
Yeah.
My version of that,
Sure.
old and knackered, might be very different to somebody else's.
Sure.
So always need.
And how do those
Proper
references come
references.
to you then? How
Yeah,
are they presented to
so
you?
they're given to me by the team, the set deck team.
And there'll be like a picture or a photograph or a cutout or
Photograph
something.
or Pinterest is really helpful. Books and or references to other films, or we want it to be a bit more like this.
And I suppose some kind of like the narrative and story reference, right? In terms of, delving into it a little bit deeper is, why is this table old and knackered?
Yes.
What's the
I always like to
story?
know the
What's
story.
its purpose?
Where's it been? What's
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
to it? What's happening to it? What's happening in the scene?
Yeah.
Why does it need to be old and knackered?
Yeah.
What are we? What's the sort of look of the whole thing?
What's its purpose? Where did it come from?
Mm,
All of that kind of stuff. For all of those elements that are going in.
yeah.
And not all of them make it in, which is the other sort of
Happens a lot.
slightly annoying, but ever so occasionally rewarding but you might spend, I remember someone, it might have been you on Cinderella. Did you do any of Cinderella? I remember you painting a set of Louis XVI reproduction sofas and chairs. It was
Gilding.
You building. Gilding, which is kind of like a gold leaf application. So I remember the set deck team bought a lovely set of like 2 sofas.
There were hundreds of them.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a big scene in a ballroom, and it was being completely decorated by us. And the most cost-effective way to do it with the specific furniture was to purchase it because it was cheaper. There was a team of prop painters there, so you could buy broken old chairs. You could have them fixed. You could take the seats off and have those reupholstered, and then in the meantime, Alice and her team would painstakingly dry brush sheets of gold leaf onto this furniture in order to make it look antiqued and of the period, but also sitting in a world where Cinderella might come and see it, and all of those characters in that world. And I remember spending a lot of time, or watching you spend a lot of time. I remember lifting those chairs quite a lot, but you put the gold leaf on, and then at some point they went down to set, and then they came straight back off set because they weren't quite
What they wanted.
But
That happens a
we'd
lot.
all spent a lot
That
of
happens a
time
lot. You get
talking about those chairs.
yeah, yeah, and lots of endless discussion about how they got to look and going back and forth with the designer and the set deck and everybody, and then you get it all done, and then.
But I do know for a fact those chairs lived on
Did they?
after that film. Yeah,
But
because they have something at the end where you gather everything together and you log everything, and then you have a big long list of assets and things like that. And if they weren't featured on camera, they can be sold or destroyed or rehomed or stuff like that. And I know that all of that, two or three of those multiple sets, they went to high houses in London. And I've sat on one or two of those chairs since. Like 4 years later, one came through the door and I was like, that's one of those chairs.
Yeah.
So they
happens a
have
lot when that happens.
survived. They have survived. So they've definitely, it was worth what you did, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
It wasn't all in vain. It didn't make it onto camera in that particular film, but someone had the good grace to take them and house them, and then they've lived on within the film industry here. So with all of that effort.
Yeah, things do come back to me. It's quite funny in the film.
I remember the last time I painted it.
Props arrive. Oh, I painted that.
Yeah.
And then I have to change it into something else.
Because you've done, we did an Apple job last year where you were working with Artie, and we did a lot of custom art as well, didn't we? Because there's a thing at the moment, or there's a thing that's always been there, but it's more a talking point these days, which is clearance.
Yep.
And clearance is whether you're allowed to show various things on camera. So it would be brands, artists, musicians, books, posters, wallpaper, textiles. Like the list is infinite.
Yeah.
And you need to have authorization to show a lot of these things. There's something called accidental background, which is when something isn't featured close to camera, but when something is within this table or very close to where we're speaking now, and it's prominent, that you need clearance from the author or the artist or the manufacturer and stuff like that. So when certain things won't clear, depending on the subject matter of your film, depending if it's happy-go-lucky or it's a story about murder and crime, you can't always affiliate brands with these things.
Yeah, sure.
So at that point, a good solution for the designer and the set decorating department is custom art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which becomes another sort of feather in your cap, where you then produced for that with the team that was with us on that job, where there was a liaison of, okay, we need some artwork for the hero character's mansion.
Yeah.
Who is this person? What do they do? What are their tastes?
And
what are they inspired by? Yeah. And then custom painting a whole bunch of stuff that backs that character's persona up.
Yeah.
You might not read it when you're watching necessarily the show, but it really is all affecting you, all of this stuff, whether you like to think it is or it isn't. That mise-en-scene, all of that stuff that maybe you cast away as not important, really it's part of who that person is.
And then that was really fun to do that. We got lots of references, and it can't be exactly, you can do a painting, it can't look
you have to take inspiration from.
So you get inspiration from the references that they've given you, color scheme, things like that. And then me and the other painters would create pieces of work based on those references.
Yeah.
But that was really fun because that doesn't happen that often. But it's sort of easy when I quite enjoy that when it's not my own work, but you're just creating something.
Yeah, for a one-off.
Yeah, it's really fun. And
I
they
think
were
it's something
huge.
that'll be more. It'll be a thing. I think it already is a thing, and I think it's a thing that will keep going in terms of that custom art, art for film. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I know. It would be nice if that happened more often.
It would.
Get to work in my studio.
You've got a family as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you're a mum of two.
Yeah.
And they're they're old enough now to look after themselves, almost, give or take.
I've had to take time out. Yeah, I did take 7 years out.
Yeah.
When my children were born, to do mum stuff. I actually didn't think I'd come back to the industry.
Yeah.
But then, it always somehow draws me back in.
Yeah.
But I was lucky because I still had a connection in the industry. A lovely painter, Pat, who's amazing. And I worked with her from early days when I was young. I remember her when I was, doing music videos. And I rang her and said, I need a job. I need to start working again. And she got me on a job 2 days later.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky. And actually that was when I started working in film more.
Yeah.
And wasn't doing commercials and music videos anymore. I was too old for the videos. Actually, when I left the videos, I was really glad to leave the videos.
Yeah.
The music videos were...
It's hard. It's
really
really hard.
I was like, it's going to kill me.
I think you should do it. I think everyone should. I think it's a good place to start because I think
it's quite different now. There was more money in it those days. So
music videos have slowly but surely sort of dwindled out to the point where they do still happen, but not like they used to. You imagine when there was a 24-hour music channel that just needed that content.
Yeah.
Then of course there was a real call for it.
Yeah.
Same with commercials, a real call for it. Whereas today there's everything's so quick and fast paced that there isn't really time. But there's still real innovation that's going on in the music video scene. And if you do get the chance,
really fun
to go for it.
It is fun. I mean, I think there are many more rules these days. When I was young, literally,
it was a bit cavalier,
a bit like the Wild West, and you would just be there.
Yeah.
You creeping around the studio going, anybody tell me when it's going to wrap? And if there are rumours like, do we know, is it 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours?
Yeah.
Nobody would be told. There was nothing on the call sheet saying it's going to end at 10 o'clock.
No. I'm sure I've told this story as well. A friend of mine ended up being on a music video for 36 hours, which is, I think, the longest I've ever heard of. They were sending people home to have a shower at one point.
Yeah.
But you had to come back. So you're allowed to go home and wash and change.
Yes, I think I told you. I slept in a huge pile of drapes in the studio.
Yeah.
Because there was no point going home.
Yeah.
So we'd have to be back again 4 hours later.
Yeah.
And I lived 2 hours away.
Yeah. What's the point?
So I just climbed into this massive pile of drapes, black drapes, in the loading bay.
Yeah.
And just went to sleep. But then what was funny was when I woke up, some of the Sparks and whoever else had seen it and gone, that's a good idea. And there was just all these bodies
asleep in the drapes.
Asleep in the drapes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was you would never be allowed to do that now.
No.
I mean, that would be this major safety issue.
Yeah. The good old days.
Yeah, it was very different in those days. I don't know what music videos are like today, but
yeah, we should all do one. I think maybe that should be what we should do. We should just go do one, and then immediately remember why we stopped doing them. Almost immediately.
And you want to the worst is if you do one where the song is horrific, or when it's a great song, and then it's ruined for you because you've listened to it 1,000 times.
Yeah, that's probably the bit I've tried to channel out of my mind the most. Is that I remember the torture of listening to a song by I did a UK rap artist who shall remain nameless in a sort of theatre somewhere in East London. I know he was there with all of his posse, and my God, I listened to that song like about 750 times in one day, and I can't.
No.
I have some kind of reaction to that song now where, one eye starts flickering and I get all shaky because I had it forced down me like some kind of torture chamber. Yeah. It wasn't a terrible song, but it wasn't great.
So when it's like dance music, like I remember the Prodigy video was in a we got sent away for a while because they found asbestos, obviously. It was in some sort of garage.
Yeah.
And it was, I can't remember what song which one it was, but it was
It
like
must be early Prodigy from the
it was
first one or two albums.
yeah.
Is it the one where they're smashing stuff with the sledgehammer? There's one where they're doing that, I remember.
They're dancing. It's like an underground club.
Yeah.
And there's loads of people dancing.
Right.
It's a really inexpensive video.
Yeah.
It's literally in a shitty room, a bad room with mold everywhere and asbestos and kids dancing in a club scene type thing.
Yeah.
And so it was just full on. I remember being quite overwhelmed by being in that environment for 18 hours.
Yes.
So it's a Prodigy.
That sounds great to me.
They were all very nice.
I'm sure they were, yeah. Lovely boys.
What draws you to a project now when you get offered one? What do you look for? Do you look for something in specific, or what do you enjoy about the next project you get?
I suppose I just go at the moment where the work is. I just need to earn the money, and so I do that. I love to work on. I sort of quite like working on the lower budget movies actually, because it's a bit more of a team spirit thing going on, and everybody's in it together. You're all getting this thing made, and so it's less. The departments are less compartmentalized. You're a bit more in it.
You're all in it together.
Yeah, so you're like we help each other out, and everybody helps everybody, and I love that. On the massive films, it tends to be you're like it.
You're segregated a little
bit, and there's nothing. We've got some.
There's nothing wrong with it, but
with
there's
it.
protocols involved at that point. When there's lots of people, it's more logistical, and liaising with departments is trickier, and there's a lot more middle management, I think. Whereas if you're at the lower end of the scale, you just knock on someone's door and go, "Have you got any? We've just run out of screws."
Yeah. That's quite nice.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
It's a bit more relaxed somehow.
Or someone turns up with something that they need painting, but normally it's not really you, but who else is going to paint it? At which point we did a sort of low budget thing, which I think is going to come out this year altogether.
Yeah.
And there was a lot
That was
of...
fun.
We were all painting at some... I remember at some point...
all the boys were painting.
At the beginning of the job, we were like, is there any money allocated for a prop painter? And there was a bit more of a, what's one of those? What do they do? And it was like explaining that, if you're going to do something where everything's a bit old and you're going to buy a bunch of stuff, there's a moment where it's all going to need to look like it exists in that world. Yeah. And then there was a sort of, well, we could get one in for a few days. And then I called Alice and they said, oh yeah, it'd probably just be 3 days, 3 months. It ended up being 3 months.
And I didn't stop.
He didn't stop painting.
All
and
day.
then on occasion there was the entire prop department was painting something.
Yeah.
Whether it was like action props or furniture that was going on to set, or various other drafts of things that were going on across multiple departments. Things with, repairing things on set, which then need additional paint and all of that kind of stuff. And everyone at some point, we were all covered in paint at one point on that job. I remember looking around the room and just everybody had a pot of paint.
It was so fun.
And they were doing something and then passing it to the next person, like some kind of, we'll use the maybe in like half an hour.
You do that, you do that, you do that.
And like you say, it's all got to exist in that world, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't just buy even the smallest thing.
No, you can't.
And pop it on set, because it will show.
It'll stick out like a sore thumb.
So you've got to age everything from, we were doing tapestries, weren't we? That were being hung 15 feet in the air, right down to the ends of, was it church pews, was it? We were doing
church pews, all sorts of
when you buy an embellishment for it to go on the end, you can't just have this bright, nickel plated, it's got to be aged. So.
And most of the things you end up doing as standby is the little things that have been missed, like the really shiny door hinge bracket.
Yeah.
And it's pinging out at the camera.
Yeah.
And you have to go and stick a bit of wax on it. But I think people watching movies don't realise just how much painting is involved in a film.
A huge amount.
So much.
Yeah.
Everything is somehow tinkered with or played with or painted. And I think it's interesting when you work on something and then people go, you don't really need a prop painter. You don't really like, okay.
Yeah.
How's that going to look?
Can't you do it? I know how to decorate a bedroom, but like how to make a sort of, I don't know, a prehistoric spear look like it's killed 1,000 people and it's some kind of mythical object. I don't know. Can it not just be brown with darn headings? Because I don't know, and then you start to develop it. So a prop painter adds a story to it. A prop man might add a bit of leather to it. There's some string, there's some carvings, and then all of a sudden, from a sort of £6 broom pole from a supermarket and a little model made end, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, actually that does. Yeah, that looks like it could be the thing. Yeah. You just need 750 of them.
Yeah.
And then at some point,
tomorrow.
Yeah. Then it goes, okay, great. Yeah. And then you get to sort of figure out how you mass manufacture something, either on a low budget or a big budget, and all of that kind of stuff.
You mentioned wax a couple of times. Can you just tell us a bit about? Is this like a little trick of prop painters?
Wax is your friend. I have. Wax is brilliant.
So what is it? What is it made from?
So it's just beeswax.
Okay.
That you might polish your boots with or whatever. But we use it. We dye it, change the color of it, and we use it to do all sorts of things. Mostly with aging.
Right.
If you put a bit of raw umber powder into it, then mix it all up, and then that can be knock everything back to a kind of.
Say knock back. That means taking something from new
to
just
used.
Taking it down a bit, giving a bit of patina,
and getting the aging right. Aging is a whole thing, and it is on a great big spectrum of aging. Sometimes this table might be brand new, but they don't want it to be knackered. They just want it to be
lived in,
a bit loved, and so you have to. That's in a way sort of a bit harder. Because it's you don't want to.
It's not the extreme end, is it?
No.
It's somewhere in the grey area.
If you're doing like a whole room, a bedroom, or whatever, aging things like the light switches, so that they're not pinging white, they look like they've gotten wax. Would be
wax is your
little bit of a fingerprint around the light switch and things like that. Just gives it that detail that makes the viewer think.
Sure.
Or not think about it.
Yeah.
If it look, you just want them to not know.
It passes unnoticed.
Yeah. So if you're a student making a film, that'd be a really good thing to sort of knock up.
Those details. If everything looks pingy and brand new, it doesn't sit.
Sure.
It doesn't look.
Maybe we'll put the recipe for Alice's wax at the end of the episode.
Because there's all sorts of stuff, isn't it? Because we were talking about like just knowing your toolbox, I suppose, is the only way to describe it. In that, from a prop perspective, it's like becoming proficient at as many bits of machinery and toolage as you can, and the same applies for you in the prop painting department. Is products for different results, products for different materials, everything in between, the sort of the sandpapers and the scrapers and the if you need. I don't know, you need a horse post to look like a horse has kicked it 1,000 times. You whack it with a bit of chain, a big bit of chain.
Yeah, I did the exact same
hammer, and that will give you the hoof marks. Then it needs to go to paint, and then you get a first pass, and then a second pass, and then a wax, and then some more whacking because it isn't enough, or it's too much whacking, and you sand it back, and then you go through that layering process, or you scorch the wood with like a Bunsen, a flame blowtorch, and you can charcoal something for sort of a post-fire scene and all of that kind of stuff. It's just like a huge amount of stuff that you go, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Or you've done it before.
When you've got some experience under your belt, then you can sort of apply. There's no kind of formula. It's like you can apply anything to anything, really.
Yeah, playing jazz with it.
And then that's when it's really fun. And a bit of chemistry with the paint. It can mix. We do things like we spray water and button polish on top of each other, and that creates a kind of opaque effect where it can look like water staining or water bleaching.
Yeah.
And that's just a bit of chemistry going on. The paints you're mixing together don't agree with each other, and it just creates a lovely effect.
Yeah.
And I love kind of nerding out about how to get mold to look like mold.
Yeah.
Or,
Metal to look rusty.
Metal to
That's
look
my
really
personal
rusty,
one.
like,
if you can do rust, like I'm always
Yeah.
fascinated by that. Making something rusty. That's always a
Yeah.
great one.
Yeah.
and it's really fun. I like to get as close to it as possible. That's why I always like a decent reference, and then can copy
Do you
it.
do a lot of this at home, or is it all just sort of learning on the job and then taking that knowledge onto the next job, or do you practice something outside of work that bolsters this knowledge?
No, I do. I have a little workshop studio at home, and I do my own painting. And sometimes if I'm inspired by something at work, then I might fiddle around doing that at home. But mostly I try and draw and stuff that I don't do a lot of on films, to just practice doing that, and find that quite therapeutic, to just do little things, whereas mostly on work it's big stuff.
Bigger stuff. Yeah. I was just thinking about because a lot of it translates either from theatre or to theatre. I guess where it first originated, the sort of scenic painting on stage and stuff like that, because some of these products that you would use are domestic, and some of them aren't. Because I know there's a theatrical suppliers called Flint's, who I sometimes find myself down a rabbit hole in terms of looking at the breadth of stuff that's available to a painting department and going, oh God, what is all of this stuff? What does it do? There's so much of it I don't understand. But some of it being like domestic stuff that you could go and get from like a Home Depot type place. But then a lot of stuff which is really film and theatre specific in order to give a particular effect that only reads on camera or on stage or stuff like that. And blending the two, it's really all going back to knowing your sort of toolbox type thing, but having a knowledge of all of these problem-solving things. So when you get that reference and that becomes so niche that you know exactly what it is, but it's a combination of like 16 different products, and you have to layer each one on top of the specific one before in order to give it exactly that, medieval hero sword look that you're after, that looks really funny when you hold it in your hands, but you put it in front of a camera and you're like, oh my God, yes. But it's taken you 3 weeks to do it. And every single product is vital for the layering of that sort of moment where, King Arthur stands there and gives out the war cry, and you go, oh my God, that's it.
There's a lot of things. What's nice is new things come along, new products come along all the time. But you use kind of anything from Idendon, or what you can use, tile adhesive to make things look thick. And paint that on, and then throw some paint on top of that, or use a stippler to.
And there's a lot of washing. I know there's a lot of dirty washing. If you want to make a car look older, or like it's been through the wars a little bit for that particular scene, or the bottom of doors and stuff like that. There's a multitude of different types of like pre-washes that you can mix in order to give a very quick pass on something, just enough to tell a little bit of the story in the car's been in a chase through a forest, for example. It isn't straight out of the car wash, for example. Keeping those continuities between elements fluid and at the right level constantly through the film, although you might be shooting out of sequence. So the car's clean, the car's dirty. It's somewhere in between. And especially as a standby, knowing exactly, where you are in the story and going,
Exactly, and then putting things back. So once they've done the shot, and then you want it back to how it was. So you
quickly undo it,
and then let them do it again. And then that can be quite complicated at times, getting it exactly how it was. Sometimes we have to do doubles of things. Or if it's a breakaway. thing. So we've got the real cup and it's painted, or it's got a chip in it, or it's got whatever its character is.
Yeah.
I've got to recreate it absolutely the same, identical to something else. We did that in the prison with all the graffiti.
Yeah.
And we had to do the graffiti was done. And
On the real
like,
doll.
actually, could we do that? We need to do another one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay.
And that's real life graffiti.
And
isn't
it's
it?
real life graffiti.
Yeah. It's not just you, it's somebody else.
Somebody did that. And I was like, right, okay, if we copy it exactly.
You're mimicking
yeah.
history that you found somewhere that looks great on camera, but then you need another version.
The other version, and could we have that in half an hour?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of that, but that's I enjoy that. I think that's part of the fun of it. Well, I've only got half an hour, so I can do what I can do.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
And it's in a way, if you have longer time, it's a bit more stressful.
I so often find that pressure is you perform, you sort of go into a flow state in that pressure cooker.
Yeah.
And you more than 9 times out of 10, you sort of produce better work in that more stressful environment where you're going, the clock is ticking. It's better be good.
Yeah.
Everybody's watching. And you somehow...
Yeah, you go in the zone. We call it
quicker.
going in the zone.
Yeah.
You get in the zone and get all your equipment out, throw everything at it.
Yeah.
I do find that is a thing I always go back to when I'm painting aging, is to put everything on and then take it all off.
Yeah.
And that can
take it away,
and then you get the perfect age on it.
Yeah.
So it's always terrifying when you're in the middle of that and then somebody comes in and says
they've got a problem.
Oh God.
Yeah.
What has she done? Yeah. And you're like, go away. I'm not finished. I'm not finished is always something that I say several. Don't look at it now.
Don't look at
I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Anyone sort of looking to come into the industry, what advice would you give them?
Well, I think, nowadays it's slightly, you've got like trainee positions are much more available and common, which is great. Like on the last job I've just done, we had 3 trainees, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great to have trainees around, and it's I wish I'd had the opportunity to be a trainee for a little bit, so I could have, because I was just straight into thrown in the deep end, and actually it gives you time to kind of adjust and understand and learn what everyone's doing. So I would say try, as even if you think you've got loads of some experience, 2 or 3 jobs under your belt, actually if you got offered a trainee position on a big film, I think it would be a really good experience.
It's like analysing the opportunity, I suppose.
Yeah.
And sometimes a side step or a little step backwards is a giant leap forward. If it's sort of cultivating your skill set into becoming a more well-rounded art department employee, or whichever department you're in. I think the more you know about everything, the better. And every day is a school day. That's always a good one to say. I mean, I'm constantly learning. Now having been doing it for sort of what is somewhere close to 20 years, is always walking headlong into a new problem almost every day, and going, okay, I've never had to do that before, and then just enjoying figuring it out.
Yeah, I know, and I feel that too, especially with new products coming along. There's new ways of doing things.
Yeah,
and also in the past, is a lot of the paint is horrible, toxic, bad for you. I didn't have any respect for that. I didn't know. I didn't really look at it. And now there's much more emphasis on masking up,
Safety, health and safety, yeah.
and actually trying to use products that are not terrible for you.
Yeah.
And that means getting rid of some of the lovely stuff, which it makes wonderful paint finishes because it's
not good.
It's not good for you, and trying new things. So I'm always still learning new things, evolving, and I'm happy to always say, I don't know how you're going to show me how to do that. I think it's really great to always want to learn more and know more. But to get into the industry, I mean, I did when I wanted to get onto music videos, I did the first 2 or 3 for free.
Yeah, right.
Just to get in there. And once you know a few people, then you're away. I don't know if you'd be allowed to do that nowadays.
I think you can go along and help out.
Just say, I'll do whatever. I
think so. I mean, it was the same for me when I started out. It was like that someone said, just go and work for free. And that was it.
Yeah.
Work for free for a little bit. And that was it. I mean, that was it.
That did it.
Yeah.
That did it. I think they were happy, because you're...
There's no shame in doing that.
No.
Not at all. I think it's great.
Still, if you had a product, it would be your first customers get a free product kind of deal. You're just advertising yourself, so you give yourself away for free for a little bit to get yourself out there.
Yeah, and then be willing to just be helpful, or where can I help?
Be useful. You said at the start.
Yeah,
it's a good one. Yeah, be useful.
Yeah, and not sort of think I've just got to do this. Like be up for anything really.
Up for anything. We're gonna call it there. As a wonderful almost 60 minutes of talking to you about scenic painting. Thanks very much for coming in. Thanks for spending the time. Appreciate it very much. Thanks everybody for watching and liking and all of that stuff.
Follow us on the socials.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time
in the pub room. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Alice.
Pleasure.